was my patented. That was my patented shot. One thing I could do was finger roll.
Yo, yo, yo.
What's up, my man?
All
What's
right,
going on
all
with you?
right. What's goody? What's going on?
Another day, man. Another day,
Another
another
Sunday.
dollar. Yeah.
Another Sunday in the, you know what I mean? In the
You at
life.
the gym this week? This weekend?
Huh?
Was you at the gym this weekend?
I didn't go to the game today, man. I didn't go to the game today. I heard it was three. I just talked to my man. Shout out to my brother Beans. I mean, coach of the Bucks, and they're getting to it, getting to it. We were just chopping it up, man. He had a really good dub today. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Um, they beat the Magic with
Okay. Division game.
division game, end up finishing with 5 players. Um, and yeah, man. I mean, he's got one of the best rookies, man, in the
Shane
league,
Coleman.
man, with big with both two of them actually. He's got two of them. But Shane wasn't there today, but Nate
Nate.
was there
Yeah.
today. And Nate, man, is tough. Nate's a matchup nightmare. You know what I mean? He's a
Definitely is. A big man that is
matchup.
mobile, likes to play on the outside. Definitely. That was a great pickup by Beans. He snatched him early in the first round, if I'm not mistaken.
Post work, yeah, third pick.
Yep.
Post work, everything. You know what I mean? So to have him go with Paul, you know what I'm saying? And the Magic, regardless of who they're missing, you know what I mean, it's still a formidable team. Regardless, you know what I'm saying? So that's a good win. That's a good win right
Yeah.
there. Uh,
Definitely.
the
Shoot.
Heat,
Matter of fact,
the
I'm
Heat beat
looking
the
over
Bucks.
right now to see who the Heat ended up winning against.
The Heat beat the Jazz. I heard at the
Oh
buzzer. I heard that was a really good game too.
yeah, all I seen on the book was Mike Jones wins at the buzzer. So
Yeah. Yep.
you know,
Yep.
um,
Mike hit a game winner. I heard Mike hit a game winner. You know what I mean? And again, man, that's what's dope about the league is that you got the Mike Joneses of the world, former McDonald's All American, number 2 ranked shooting guard coming out of high school behind LeBron James.
hmm
At this stage in his career, you know what I mean, just giving back and lending his time by coming to play on Sundays. You know what I'm saying? He could be doing other things. He's a coach as well. You know what I mean? He could be doing more with his time, man. But the fact that he comes down, he's a part of, that brotherhood that's the OTL, man. I think that's pretty dope.
yeah, and I'm glad we had him on the podcast earlier this season. So
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
definitely was a good look. Definitely a good
Absolutely.
look. And
Absolutely.
I think the last game of the night was the Thunder versus the Bulls,
Thunder
and
versus the Bulls. And
yeah,
and
Bulls pulled it off.
the Bulls pulled it off. I mean, listen, you know, the new coaches that are coming in this league are not playing. You know what I'm saying? And shout out to Steve, shout out to Beans. We got two of the best, in my opinion, as far as younger coaches. I mean, you couldn't have got a better two choice of coaches to come into the league. You know what I'm saying right
Yeah,
now than those two. You know what I mean? Both are super smart. They know how to recruit. They know players. They draft well. Both drafted really well. Made a big trade too. Like shout out to and that trade seemed to have worked out
for
really on
both
both
teams, to
sides
tell
for
you the
both,
truth.
both
Yeah.
teams with the trade that they made, the Bulls
hmm
and the Bucks, but then also the Bulls that made the trade with the Thunder. So it's kind of almost like a revenge game, kind of for
hmm
Mikey going against his old squad. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? Um,
yeah. I know. I know he wasn't missing this
yeah,
for the
yeah.
world.
You know what I mean? So like it was a little extra. He had a little extra pep in his step today. You know what I'm saying for that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Um,
Thank you, Mikey.
and it's tough too because again the Thunder are another talented team. Like it's just across the board. Every week you don't know who is gonna show up and be great, man, because it's so much parity in the league this year as
Mm.
far as what I mean, like who can win it. It's 11 games left in the season, and so yeah, that should be Should be fun, man. Should be fun. I'm excited.
Yeah. We got the next week off.
Yeah,
Yeah, the
about the
next
next
week.
2 weeks.
Is
Yeah,
it 2 weeks? Yeah, we got the next 2 weeks. Well, actually, no, it's next week. Well, I think we're back the first week of January.
okay.
I mean, we had this week off.
Right.
Yeah,
So again, depending on what teams you were on, you had 2 weeks off. You know what I mean?
yeah,
This Sunday you won't have you'll be off the next Sunday as well.
yeah.
So
Today basically was like the makeup week from week one, and whatnot. So the last 3 games of the schedule we didn't get to play the first week. So
yeah.
you know, so glad to get that out the way. Now, the Christmas holidays, and hopefully by the time we get back from the Christmas holidays, we'll have, you know, a little present for the rest of the league. Some new uniforms and stuff, whatnot coming in.
Hey.
So
That's
that'll
love.
be refreshing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah, no, shout out to the board, shout out to you guys for handling that, taking care of that, and you know what I mean, like, showing some love to the league, with that second set of uniforms.
yeah, and on each set of uniforms, we'll be honoring Jesse Stokes.
Hey,
So everything will have the JS on the side and
hey.
whatnot. So you gotta
Man.
honor the OG.
Absolutely,
That's my guy.
absolutely. That's my
Mm,
guy too, man. I miss that guy. You know what I mean? I miss his energy. I miss his wisdom.
mm-hmm,
You know what I mean? I just again, the wisdom is the most important part because there was never a time where you didn't see him or talk to him or something, and you weren't going to get
mm-hmm.
some wisdom from him. You were going to get some wisdom. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Whether you wanted it or not. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying? He was going to give it to you. You know what I mean? Pause. Like, the wisdom. So I think that was super dope, man. Definitely miss him.
yeah.
Great gesture by the league, man. Great gesture.
Definitely. Jesse yearly playoff time will come in with the fishing rod, talking about let's see who's going fishing this week.
I love it.
You know,
I love it. I love it.
he definitely gonna miss it. I think it's his grandson actually plays in the league. I think
Yes.
he's a rookie in the league this year, Kendrick.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah. Shout out
playing
to
for
my
the
man
Magic right
Kenny,
now.
man.
So
Yep, absolutely. Shout out to my man Kenny, man.
yeah,
Energy guy. You know what I'm saying? Like, every team needs a guy like that on their squad as far as the energy that he's gonna bring. You know what I'm
hmm
saying? He just plays with a motor. You know what I
he
mean?
always comes in ready.
In defense, like you're not gonna have no problems from him. He ain't no head case. You know what I mean? He just wants to play and win and all that type of stuff. Shout out to Kurt. Shout out to Drew. Rockets, man. Rockets are looking good. I can't even front. Rockets are looking reloaded.
Yeah,
Got a new name. I mean, but again, Booby, he ran a master class with drafting this year. He was able
hmm
to just, I don't know how he does it every.
you know,
But
Booby's one of those guys. He's definitely a smart guy, and if you make a mistake, he's definitely gonna pick up on it. And there's a few teams that made a few mistakes in the draft, and Booby was right there to scoop him up. So he got, not one, but I think he got 2 good rookies and whatnot in this year's draft. Matter of fact, in the first round. On top of that,
well, I think he threw everybody off with the Kevin Joseph pickup, even though if you were watching, Kevin Joseph was really, was a really good, he was pretty high player. If you watched
yeah.
him at the combine, I don't think nobody expected him to go 4, but you knew he was going to be a high first round pick.
Well, I had him tabbed at 7.
Again, he was high.
Yeah.
He was a high pick for for a lot of people. But then, like, he got Figueroa at like
Tyrone. Yes.
At like 8 or 9. And I'm like, what? Like,
yeah, I think he grabbed Ty at like 10 because I think the Sixers were at 8, if or something like that.
It was like 9 or 10.
Yeah.
It was like 9 or 10. It was close.
Yeah.
Close to the.
Oh no, I'm lying.
The bottom of the draft on the first round.
Yeah, actually, I'm lying. The Sixers picked at 6. Sixers picked at 6 because they picked Ryan.
Right
they picked
before,
Ryan.
yep. And then the pick I would have had that I end up trading to the Bucks 7. They got Shane.
Yeah.
I don't remember who went at 8.
I went right after them, and those two guys were definitely the two guys on my draft board. They went right ahead of me in order. So it was like, shoot, they made me rethink my drafts, at that point. So it was like, okay, well, let's get the best fit, let's just try to get the best fit at this point.
Yeah, man. So, but yeah, masterclass. And
definitely,
you know what I mean? And the Sixers, man, are in first place in the East. Shout out to the OG, man, who got Big Ryan this year. And yeah, he's made a trade with the former Knicks, now Timberwolves, to get one of his old guys from the BG
James
days.
Yes.
Big Jim, Slim. You know what I mean? Get Slim over there with him. And, Slim, great pickup because he's still, you know what I mean? He's still out there doing what he does. And like right back there, before you know it, Chill's cooking up again. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
On a championship run, possibly. So,
So you see them in the finals?
I mean, the East is so good. I'm gonna say yes. Right now, I'm gonna say yes. I mean, they look really good. Like I mean, again, the East is tough now, and it could, there's gonna be
because you got to remember the defending champs are over there in the East.
Oh, for sure, that's what I'm saying.
So,
like, it's not a guarantee. Yeah. It's not a guarantee, but I mean, like you know what? Let's see, you know what it is, man. We're not even gonna go any further. It's that time, baby. You know what it is. Episode 11, man. Let's get it.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the main event.
On Dead Dogs, the Grove Hall Show got it locked. The best sports show in New England, it's your first stop. See Coach Maine handle topics like he got the rock. Point guard, drop it off, help you find your spot. You know Payne got the streets on smash. Dropping jewels every time like J-Kid off the glass. And let's keep it real, everybody game for real. That's why we got Mr. Maritime here to seal the deal. Tune in.
Hey. We are back, man. We are back.
Definitely.
It's Maine here in the building.
Sam Little, and we're here as the Grove Hall Podcast. Definitely another week. Right before we went to break, Drew Angus said, hey, listen, don't forget Alvin Abreu's on his way.
Listen, man, I give it to them. Like I said, I give it to they draft really, really well over there. Another shooter they got, and it's funny he put him in there talking about shooters because I mean, obviously tonight's episode is Respect the Shooter, talking about some of the best marksmen that we've ever saw. You know what I mean? And it wouldn't be right if we didn't bring if we didn't have someone come on to us. Come on the show with us to talk about shooting, who is a shooter himself. So let's bring in our good friend, the good brother, man, Brother Rulick, man, Brother Rulick. Let's get him in. The shooting is all right. You know what I'm saying? Understand?
I'll take that.
Kay, what's going on with you, man? How's everything?
Everything's going well. Everything's going very well. Very well. I'm glad that I could fit in the shooter, category. I do like to put it up. I do like to put them up.
Definitely. So tell us a little bit about what's in the background back there. I see you got a little something special going on back there.
Yeah. So in the background here is the a logo for the Black Coaches Classic. I had you guys down at the Black Coaches Classic, the coaches clinic phase of the classic in October. In February, we'll be back in Madison Park for our basketball invitational.
Hey,
I sent you some flyers for the basketball invitational, but pretty
I
much,
just saw that. Yeah, I just saw that. I just saw that. Definitely. Thank
so
you.
pretty
Yeah,
much
we'll
we'll have
definitely be out here
6 games.
spreading the word.
Yeah, you guys are welcome. I'll have a table out there for you to set up and do your thing. You're welcome to come down and mingling with the crowd. But apparently, we'll have 6 games. In the middle of the 6 games, we'll be honoring, some local coaches who've done their thing. Among them, Mike Rubin, who's a big name and
Yeah, salute.
coached a lot of people at East Boston High School. Al Ski is gonna come down and receive his flowers, and he's doing this thing with the Battle of New England.
Yeah.
And the last person we're gonna honor is Thomas Johnson of the Johnson Center in Mission Hill,
Okay.
and we've been in touch with his family to come down and accept flowers on his behalf, just for all of the contributions that he's made to the community.
That's dope. That's dope.
That's dope.
Definitely dope.
Okay.
And it's crazy.
Definitely count us. Definitely count us in to hold down the table that day. Kind of like the same thing that that happened before at the clinic where got a chance to talk to. I mean, my God, just basketball royalty. In my opinion, in this city in terms of upper echelon of coaches, guys that I admire and just am fans of. So we
were lucky. We were lucky to have some big names come through, and glad to have you guys capture a lot of that on film.
Yeah. I was a little upset I couldn't make it but we got Coach Maine right here. He definitely was on the scene, getting all the interviews and whatnot. So but we definitely appreciate the invite. And I will definitely be here for this next one.
Yeah, looking forward to having you guys involved. Like I said, there's 6 games. The feature game for the event is Newton South versus Holland Tech. So it's a Black Coaches Classic. So the theme is Black coaches. So there'll be nothing but Black coaches on the sidelines. There'll be nothing but Black officials running up and down the sidelines. I work with Steve Wilson to get my officials, and so he makes sure that I have BIPOC, officials running up and down the sidelines.
Nice.
But like I said, the feature game is Newton South versus Holland Tech, formerly Burke High School.
Man! Oh,
wow!
We get to talk to one of our guys, man. We get to talk to Chat, man.
Yeah, Chat
over
there.
Joe Chat's over there. Yeah.
Right. Corey Lowe's over at Newton South now. So.
Wow. Oh, that's crazy. That's crazy. That's dope. Okay.
That's dope. Definitely dope.
Right. That's gonna be a real good one. It's gonna be real.
Yeah,
good.
looking forward to
it. Okay. It's one day, right? Is it a 1 day tournament or is it 2 days?
1 day, 6 games. Games start at 10 a.m. We got Boston Latin facing Milton High School. And so girls game. So it'll be Boston Latin girls. So we'll have Greg Berry will be up in the building coaching the first game. So 10 o'clock is the first one. Second game is at about 11:30. Last game before the recognition is at about 1 or so. We'll have the recognition at about 2:30. So we're asking families and those will be recognized to come down at 2:30 so we can give them their flowers. We like to give them a plaque, and sometimes we get the city to recognize them as well.
Yeah.
But then after that, 3 more games, and we got New Mission will be playing, defending champions, they'll be playing. Barnstable is coming down, New Bedford's coming down. So we got a bunch of good games, and again, the theme is to recognize and honor Black coaches.
Nice.
Yeah, that's dope. That's dope. That's big for the city too.
No, definitely. If we could just get you to just touch on the conversation of real quick of what made you want to start the Black Coaches Classic. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, definitely. So for my career, I've been in education for my entire career, and I started out in the classroom. Shortly thereafter, I was offered the athletic director job. I was ever at Cathedral High School, and I was there because my former principal at Mission High was over at Cathedral High School, and the athletic director left, so she put me in the seat. And I spent about 20 years as an athletic director, and started at Cathedral High School. I parlayed that into an opportunity at Mass Bay Community College, where I worked for Bill Rayner. And I parlayed that into an opportunity at Bunker Hill Community College. So I was the associate athletic director at Mass Bay under Bill Rayner, and the head athletic director at Bunker Hill Community College. I thought I was going to BC.
Yeah.
I was the youngest athletic director in the state. Making moves, making my way from high school to college. I thought I was going to BC, and I hit the glass ceiling. I was at a two-year school, and I would go to these conferences, these national conferences, and be able to talk to the Duke AD and the LSU AD and all these different folks, and recognize really quickly that they didn't want to talk to me. They didn't want to talk to the two-year college guy or help facilitate my move from a 2-year to a 4-year.
Wow.
Exactly.
Now,
and
do
so
you oh, I'm sorry.
No, I was just saying that. So having had that experience of attending these conferences and seeing how they get down, and then hitting the glass ceiling, I was motivated to create an avenue for other brown folks to, get some work in athletics, pretty much. Yeah,
because I was just about to say, do you think we as Black people, coaches, get our due or get fair opportunities that that we should get?
I think for a long time we've been pigeonholed. As far as the coaching staff is concerned, the brown coach is a recruiter. You can go into the homes, you can go into the neighborhoods and that type of thing. Same idea with the Black quarterback. For a long time, they didn't allow the Black quarterback. Couldn't think on his feet. Couldn't, same idea. But I think the world is different post George Floyd, and I think we're now getting a lot of opportunities. We just got to be ready for them. And so a program like the Coaches Clinic is a professional development opportunity. And I'm trying to get coaches to value professional development and being ready for these opportunities when they arise. But that's the idea, and hopefully we get more coaches involved.
Definitely. I like to see my man from Emmanuel. I like to see my man Terrence Favors at the next one, man. Hopefully, his schedule will allow him, because he's definitely one of those up and coming coaches. That's really
love to have him.
That's really
definitely
really
wonderful young man. Great to speak to. Nothing but love for Terrence.
Yeah.
I love to have him. Make the connection.
Absolutely. No, I'll definitely make the connection on that. So, guys, we're talking shooters tonight, man. And it's so many, man, will come to mind. Like
you had a shooter on here last week, or we were supposed to be on here last week. Sean Williams, I spoke to this week. He told me he was gonna get with you guys.
Shiz Will, man. I don't know, man. I sent, and that's my guy to OG. We definitely got to get Shiz Will back on here. But it was just I guess it was just a communication with the link that was sent.
Yeah.
Shiz is old school, so
Shiz old.
we definitely want to get Sean Williams on here, because I feel like Sean Williams is definitely one of the more underrated players. He doesn't really get talked about enough about as far as how good he really was. You know what I mean? So shout out to Shiz Will. Definitely got to get him on here.
Us from the South End, Roxbury, we definitely got a good look at Sean Williams growing up. So we know what he did. So
absolutely, shoot it, take off on you.
So, in you guys' opinion, man, let's just talk about it, man. When you think shooters, right? Some of the best that you've ever saw, and Kay, you mentioned a couple earlier, man. Who are some of the best, shooters? Again, it can range from any era. Because again, you said
we've been around for a while.
Ski earlier, I think Al Ski's like one of those. He's like one upper echelon when you talk about
Al Ski. Al Ski's a good shooter. Neighborhood shooter. Curtis Brown's a good shooter.
CB.
Definitely.
Downtown.
And you know what's so crazy? A lot of people wouldn't even have thought about Curtis because, but Curtis has done so much in the city, and whatnot. And it's crazy that, he doesn't even get mentioned.
Absolutely.
But that's definitely a good pick right there.
Yeah, I see.
The young kid Malik that went to Minnesota, he put that ball in the basket.
Malik Smith, JP, Malik Smith. Oh my goodness. Oh man.
Right.
Did a lot of work over at Minnesota too. While he was doing it, man. Definitely one of the best shooters. No question.
Scott Hazelton's known as a shooter back in the day. Scott Hazelton.
Yeah.
Hazelton. I didn't see the couple of times I saw him play. I didn't see that. I heard about it from him, but I didn't get a chance. I didn't see that part, but I did hear that. I did hear that.
Yeah, Scott. I actually coached Scott in Top Shot back in the day at Mission Hill. It doesn't exist anymore. Top Shot was a basketball camp in the Tobin. But when he was a little guy, I coached him over there, and I could see the form way back then.
Wow. Speaking of Scots, though, Scott Clark went to Charlestown.
Yeah, Scott Clark is definitely one of those.
Yeah. Scott was prolific, man. Scott was prolific.
Shoot, I got a guy that every Sunday comes down is probably one of the best. When he get it going, no telling. Hugh Coleman. He started off as a point guard, but he I think when he got over to Charlestown, they kind of switched him over a little, and whatnot. Well, actually, no. Once he got to BG, I think they kind of switched his game a little bit.
In high school, Hugh was like that.
He was always like that, but he became more or just known primarily as just a shooter. Because Hugh started off as a point.
I remember him as a point.
Yeah, because he played with me when I first started getting into organized basketball. He was my first point guard in our little after-school program leagues.
He went to the Grover, definitely. He definitely was a point guard, but again, he in Charlestown, he was a shooter more than anything that I saw. You know what I mean? He's definitely one of the best.
For sure. Sure.
One of the best.
Roger Roberts.
Roger Roberts.
Monty Mack.
Roger Roberts. Monty
Mack.
Monty Mack.
Mack could pick you apart from any place.
Yeah, he was
definitely one of those guys. Definitely.
Put that ball in the basket.
Who are some underrated shooters though? Right, the guys that don't really get talked about. I mean, we named a couple, but who are a couple more underrated ones?
Who used to shoot it? Larry Merritt used to be a shooter.
Really?
Was a shooter.
Really? Did not know that. I did not know that.
Yeah.
I would say Dave Mendez.
Dave Mendez. I
would say Dave Mendez.
Absolutely.
I had to go, one of them guys, Dave would sit here and talk trash to you all day long. I'm a shooter. He'd tell you where he's shooting. That was one of my guys.
That's my guy. That's my guy. I love Dave Mendez. That's my guy.
Yeah.
That's my guy. Speaking of Dave Mendez, his family, Shabazz. When we talk about shooting, point guard off the dribble, no
question about it.
Yeah, definitely.
And from deep,
absolutely.
I might have a second one for my team. AJ Tavares is another one of them guys that kind of light it up.
Tavares, New Bedford player.
Yeah,
that's right.
He works out with he runs a camp with Bonzi Colston in the summertime. Yep. No, AJ.
Bonzi still around?
Huh?
Bonzi still around? Wasn't he overseas?
He was overseas. Yeah. Yep. He's been overseas.
Dang.
Man.
Dang.
Am I drawing a blank? Oh my God. I gotta go old school. Gotta give Chill his props here with his guys, man. Brian Edwards, man.
Oh, yeah, we forgetting all about them guys over there. Danny Delgado.
Right, Danny Delgado.
Yeah.
Ricky Brunson. We named Sean Williams. We didn't name his nemesis, Ricky Brunson.
Was
Mm,
it, what they were nemesis in high school? Really?
Yeah, they would have battles in the state tournament. Sean Williams, David
Wow.
Russell, Salem and Eastie.
Wow.
mm.
Didn't know that. Okay.
What's
Delgado.
my
You said Danny Delgado, but his younger brother, Derek, that went to
mm,
Brookline. Derek Delgado. Derek Delgado was
A lot of
definitely
shooters.
was a
A lot of
sniper.
definitely?
He was a
Yeah,
sniper. He was
yeah.
definitely.
Boston's definitely had its share of shooters and whatnot. Um, uh,
Yeah, mention
uh,
Shandon. Shandon's out there shooting.
Oh my God. Oh my God. Shandon. Absolute the general. The
Right.
general.
General's out there.
The
you
general
know,
was
his
out.
father, Sean Brown.
His father.
You know, you know, got
and
you know,
bloodline.
gotta count on him.
Well, actually,
Let me see.
both of them, because Little Sean just went into the Avon High School Hall of
Hall of
Fame, I
Fame.
believe. Yeah, absolutely,
Wow.
absolutely.
Yeah, Little Sean was a killer.
Yeah, Mikey, what's up, man? You don't think Shannon is a shooter? What's going on? We see you in the comments.
Mike is a shooter.
Just hoping me sit in my jet, man. Let me your jet, please, brother, so I can sit in yours and do the show, man. We got to get you. Tell you, Mikey, we want to get you on here next season.
That's my
We would like
guy.
to get you, Courtney Eldridge, and Wayne Turner. We need a connection to Wayne Turner to kind of make this happen. Yes,
Yeah, my
yes,
boy.
J-Bo, Carmelo
Oh,
Travis.
I can forget
He
Lowe's.
Mass.
Yeah,
Can't
yeah.
forget Lowe's.
Who, Carmelo?
Yeah, Carmelo was a shooter, and he had bunnies.
Oh, I didn't know that. Okay,
Oh yeah, oh
I didn't
yeah,
know that.
absolutely. Go up and get it, lob it to him.
Mm.
Now, where's Carmelo from?
He's from Dorchester.
Oh,
Oh
okay.
wow! I didn't even realize that.
Yeah, I believe he was from Dorchester, like the Fields Corner area.
Mm.
That's my recollection.
Wow. Okay.
And you bringing him up? There was a kid from Cathedral, played at Madison. Shucks, dang. Not Hector. What was it? Hector?
Hector was at
It might
Burke.
have been Hector. No, not Nick John. It was somebody. He played with Mark Jenkins during that time period. Spanish cat from that played at Madison Park. And he also played with BG for a little while too. I'm just trying to remember what his name was. Spanish cat.
Spanish
Dang.
guy. He played with Mark
Yeah.
Jenkins in Madison.
Yeah, he played with Mark. He also played with the Titans for a little while also. Dang.
That's throwing me off, brother.
Hector Miguel. I'm just trying. It'll come back to me. It'll come back to me. But he definitely played with Mark Jenkins. Definitely a tough scorer. I just can't remember his name. Shucks, right at this moment.
But speaking of
It'll come to me though.
Speaking of art, what makes a good shooter? Like, what makes someone a really good shooter? You know what I'm saying? Is it their ability to catch, come off screens? Is it their ability to take it off the dribble and create? Or like, do they have to have the best of both worlds with that? You know what I'm saying? Like, what really makes a good shooter in you guys' opinion?
I think it might be all of that. It's a combination of all that, to tell you the truth.
Yeah, I would have to agree. And I like good mechanics, but good mechanics don't always, someone can have bad mechanics and get it done.
Yeah.
Right.
I think back to Wayne Turner when he was coming out of high school, when the word is they changed his shooting mechanics when he got to Kentucky. Before he got to Kentucky, he was a shooter, as far as I'm concerned. He put 60 points in, scored 60 points in the game before he left Boston. So he was a shooter before he changed, but when they changed his mechanics is when that all went downhill.
Yeah, no, I agree definitely, because if you knew Wayne, if you ever saw Wayne before he went to Kentucky, he could shoot that shit. He definitely was a much better shooter than he showed when he was in
at Kentucky.
Absolutely. Absolutely. No,
So
definitely.
I say that to say mechanics are important,
Right.
to the shot, but they're not everything.
Okay.
No, they're not. I mean, because even Jason Tatum has a weird, he got a little weird jerk to his shot, when he's shooting, but that shit goes in. I mean, as you seen last night. So,
Yeah.
And he changed his a little bit.
Right. This season it feels like.
Yeah.
Charlie. You gonna mention Charlie, man.
Crazy.
Oh my
No,
god.
I thought we were gonna get to him later on, but
gotta get
Yeah,
to Charlie, man. Gotta get to
shoots.
Charlie. Like
that boy shoot.
yeah, Miss
Yeah.
Charlie. What's young boy that used to play at Dorchester High? Ramil. No. Played with Migo during his time. Definitely a shooter. Damn, I thought he was on the hardball team back in the day. Damn, what is his name? Yeah, he played with Migo and John Blaze. He was like the heart of their team when they went to the when they were going to the cities and stuff. I want to believe his name started with an O. Damn. Yeah, man, I thought you would be catching on these. Like this is Dorchester High guy.
Like you like. I'm sitting here really trying to think. I'm like Amigo, like because you threw me off. He hooped with Amigo.
Yeah, he played with Amigo. He played during that time with them. Amigo, him, and John Blaze was the was like the stars of that team. I want to believe his last name was Robinson. Damn.
Yeah, nah, brother. Yeah, you gotta have the first name for me with that.
Yeah.
I can't.
I got my boy Sean Williams on my text. He's saying shooting is follow through, balance, and base. And he's shouting out Scott Clark. I think Scott Clark went to Top Shot, not Hazleton. I mixed them up. But yeah, Sean Williams is watching. Shout out to Sean Williams.
Shiz Will, what up?
Yes, what up, Shiz? We definitely gotta get you on here.
We definitely gotta get you on the show, Shiz Will. Definitely one of the more underrated shooters. Oh man, Dana Barrows. Man.
Dana Barrows.
Mattapan's own NBA All-Star.
Zavarian
brothers. Like, yo.
Zavarian, BC, hometown hero.
Hometown.
And that's the kid's name, Jesus. That's who played at Madison.
Okay.
And he's from Cathedral.
Is he? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. No, I didn't know. No, didn't know that. Did not know that.
Yeah. Jesus definitely put the ball in the hole. Definitely a good shooter. I watched him as a young kid, fearless, get up. He even dunk on you if he had to. So,
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Zeus was all right.
We've had a lot of shooters come through, and but the Boston Public Schools is seems like it's under new management, or it's changing directions right now. We got Corey McCarthy over there in the student support office, trying to implement some different things for the students, student athletes in particular. I'm curious about what sustains all of that. So he's got all this. He's got the thing going on Sunday where he's got training for the basketball. He's got like a thing at Emmanuel that he does for basketball, and this is
617.
Right, I think this is out of season stuff, like preparation for the season.
Yep.
I'm just curious how we sustain all of this stuff that Corey is doing is to make sure that the students are developing and getting opportunities. We talked about all these shooters. There's shooters in the schools right now. What's the next step?
The coaches. I feel like who are the leaders in power at some of these schools, right? To working out with these kids and all that. The one thing I will say that I do see a shift as far as like there are a lot of younger coaches like actually getting a shot.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And guys that are really like dedicated, right? Not just, to the craft, but also to the young people, So I think that's where you sustain it. You sustain it by having good coaches over there on those sidelines and good staffs continuing to develop these kids, right? You have these coaches that should be able to, pull up and make time to come to a Black Coaches Classic, right? For either support, to come and watch from great coaches, you know what I mean? And kind of like sharpen it up, you know what I mean? And keep the cycle going like that. So I think that's where it starts. And we got to have these, coaches just continue to develop these guys, man. And just seeing guys like get a shot at it, too. Kenny Ramos is over at Tech Boston. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's super dope over there.
Right.
When you have a young man who played at the school, was an assistant coach, a champion, and now he's the head guy in place, running the team. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And rest in peace, Corey, because who knows, it could have. We don't want to do the what ifs because Corey would have been a great choice. God willing, had he been around for it. But just to see someone like Kenny get a shot at it, you know what I mean, is a really great thing, for the city, man.
Definitely.
So to answer your point, that'll be long-winded, but yeah, we need more coaches, in place. That's key.
Yeah, I think we got to support those young coaches. I guess my main concern is how do we keep the students home? How do we give them something comparable to what they might see if they leave the city, MECO or private school or whatever it is? How do we get those kids to stay home?
It's a whole different. There's a lot of.
It's a lot
and
of ways.
I see Corey's effort as part of that.
Yep. Yeah, we got to get Corey on the show, because I would definitely love to hear his thoughts on it. And what he's doing is amazing right now, because it's what's needed. You know what I mean? He was a coach in the city for a long time, a champion, you know what I mean? One of the best that walked the sidelines, you know what I mean? And now trying to impact, the BPS from a different angle, man, yeah, but like you said, to your point, Kate, we got to sustain it. It's got to be sustained.
It's kind of hard when, these kids are getting better opportunities, out of state and in these prep schools and stuff like that. It's definitely hard to kind of keep them here and stuff like that. They're, a lot of kids nowadays, their parents, they're like, if they're good, let's get them into, one of these preps. The number one, kid in the, in the state, well, in this nation. In the nation was in Utah.
Yeah. Started off over here though. He started off on this coast. You know what I mean? He's a Brockton kid, but he started over on this side of town. You know what I mean? Shout out to Brandon Ball, had him, you know what I mean, working out with him with expression. So, but it is tough when kids get those kind of opportunities. It's and he's one of those ones. You don't want to hold the kid back, huh?
He's the cream of the crop.
Right.
all these other guys want to go. They don't have the opportunity. They don't have the development, and so it's an uphill battle for them. But given the opportunity, obviously, they're going to go to the resources. Did you guys see that new rule that changed in the NCAA?
Oh, that's crazy.
I heard about that. Let's talk about that. I heard about it a little bit. So you want to just bring me up to speed a little more?
Yeah. How I understand it is that there was a football player from Vanderbilt who sued the NCAA to regain eligibility. Right. And the ruling came out that no schooling prior to the NCAA essentially is counted towards your eligibility. So a student could go to Bunker Hill Community College, and now they're allowing them to play up to 3 years, I think, at the 2-year level. A student can go to Bunker Hill Community College, get all of their general education requirements, right, for free now. Master schools, 2-year college is free in the state.
Yeah.
Develop and play in a competitive environment with grown men, for 2-3 years, and then go to Stonehill, and if they're good enough,
right,
for example, And so I think that completely changes the game. I think that eliminates a lot of the prep schools that just pop up out of nowhere. Because I think there's a free opportunity at these community colleges where players are going to be able to develop, and it's up to those community college coaches,
Right.
to sell it and to make sure people understand what the ruling is. Because I think that's going to transform the whole recruiting process.
Yeah, that's gonna change a lot of stuff. And you come out there with your PhD by the time you're done.
Is this a good thing or a bad thing?
I think that remains to be seen. Now, these different community colleges, they're resource poor like everybody else. When I was at Bass Bay and Bunker Hill, there weren't a lot of resources. And so maybe CCRI is the closest community college that gave out scholarships back when I was an athletic director. I don't think they do it now, but they have the facilities of somebody who gives out scholarships. They have the setup of all of that. And so places like that, I see benefiting, from a scholarship level guy who doesn't have his grades can go to CCRI, play 3 years, get his grades together, get developed, and then enter as a freshman wherever he wants to go.
Wow.
Yeah,
Wow, that's a game changer. Yo, that's a game changer.
And I don't know if y'all checked in the comments, but Boopy saying, basically that rule probably going to change quickly, basically, because you're going to have 24 and 26-year-old guys and women playing. And that's definitely going to be wild because, you got a full grown man at that time playing against maybe an 18-year-old. So
right.
the level of difference of experience, I don't know.
There's an age
I don't really think it's going to be all that great.
There's an age cap for the NCAA, but there's not one for the NJCAA. And I'm in Division 3 has a different age cap than 2 and 1. And so Division 3 is going to rock out. As long as the rule, is in effect.
Yo.
Hey.
Oh man.
I don't know how you put the genie back in the bottle.
Yo, with this and NILs, man, college sports is
it's wild.
Yo, that is crazy.
Yeah.
Oh man.
But this is what we asked for. To tell you the truth, this is what we asked for. Sure. Pay the students.
Yeah, the NCAA should have got in front of all of this because now it's going wild.
Yeah, it's the wild west. Yeah, it's the Wild West. You can't at this point. Yeah, they can't slow it down. It's nothing they could do. You know what I mean? And again, it's how kids are gonna be, picking schools now. Now that's gonna be the thing of where, like, who's offering me the most money. Not necessarily the best opportunity, the best the biggest bag. Like who's offering that part. And again, it's gonna range because again, if you're a player of AJ's caliber, you had to pick a litter. You better go wherever, you want to go. You know what I mean?
So do you think it was more of the bag with him going over there? Or do you think it was just, okay, I'm going to get the opportunity to kind of do my thing and still be seen because I'm the number one kid in the nation. So,
he's one of one, and he's going to be able to write his own ticket. And there aren't many like it. I'm not sure that, like, Coop, I think he got like $2 million at Duke or something like that. They said $2 or $4 million or something like that. I don't know that Coop could have got $7 million.
Okay. Yeah. OG Smooth is saying something. If you're not going to a major JUCO, meaning a D1 nationally ranked JUCO, you're not going to benefit from this rule at all. Okay, so it's going to be it's the caliber of player that I get, the level of player that'll benefit from this.
I bet a coach with good connections, like the guy over at Quincy College, he's rocking. Like that's a D3 JUCO.
Yo,
He's sending
hey, yo,
They get everybody.
right. He's sending his guys scholarship off the rip, and so everybody's going to be able to benefit.
Hold on, man. Why
wouldn't he get guys if he's got a track record of sending guys and having relationships with scholarship schools? He's gonna get those guys. He's not gonna get AJ, but he's gonna get some top level guys who want to explore this thing, want to develop a little bit more, see value in getting English and history out the way.
Right. Hey, yo, we got someone who came in. I wasn't sure if he was still gonna make it but he did pull up after a while. Let's bring him on. We were just talking about him. So,
okay,
so we know you're gonna live a long time.
What's up, y'all? Sorry, I'm late, man.
What's going on, man?
Hey, what's up? How you doing,
Coach? What's
Pleasure
up,
to
man?
be
What's
here.
going on? We were just talking about you, obviously in a good way with everything that you got going on. With BPS and the big thing that that Kari wants to say is how do we sustain that, right? So I mean, just bring everybody up to speed about what's going on, what you're doing, reviving BPS and the athletic department, and just everything that's going on with that.
Appreciate y'all. Thanks for being here. Definitely starting to become one of my favorite Sunday evening as I'm doing work type joints. Appreciate y'all for thanking my man Rue. Kari started a lot of I'll give him his flowers. He trended a lot of things that he bucked the trend of a lot of things that people wanted to do in athletics. He's had every single position, right? Just because he wanted to keep basketball so close to his heart, and then use that leverage of like us and how we feel about basketball. Like the thing is with basketball that people don't understand is that we don't use it properly, and for me, I try to use sports properly all the time. I always tell a story about when I had $300 on my credit card, and I bought like 200 shirts and just started giving them out in the community just so people could come to games. And then one day I ended up seeing a kid in a laundromat with a shirt on, and he was like, "I'm gonna come play for you one day." And then years later, Shaquan Murray is playing for me one day, wins the state championship. He said, "Hey, coach, I got the shirt." But while giving Korea's flowers with that sort of creativity, also having good competition. Like I've never had a competition against Korea. You see what I'm saying? Some folks out here, we have this mindset in Boston that only one person is able to eat off of something.
Definitely.
You know what I'm saying? Like it just doesn't work that way. It doesn't work that way in the suburbs. It doesn't work that way with the Amish folks. It doesn't work that way in the people in the rural communities. Only us, because we want to be a top dog, and when all of us could be in the picture. Right. You know what I'm saying? Like all of us eat off the same. We could make multiple plates. It ain't just one plate. So everything that we're trying to do is just really trying to literally show the community that our kids deserve more, and then back it up with the data of having high numbers. Because when you're talking about affluent America who run school districts, that's who really is. You got to prove to them that you got the numbers to do something. But nobody believes in the community like that, and sometimes you just go get kids yourself. We just go chase kids ourselves, and then they come, and if you build something good, they'll show up. So I learned a lot of that from folks who came, look at Korea and some other folks who just really want to pull kids together and keep them off the street. Even right now, I don't know if the city had a plan for kids being 2 weeks off, having 2 weeks off of school. That was the plan. So one of the reasons I'm late is we secured 500 YMCA memberships for the next month for kids. So if you know anybody that's 12 and 19, hit me up. I'm gonna put it on my Facebook later. Fill out the link. You'll go to any YMCA for free for a month, right? Just anyone, pool, weight room, whatever. Just trying to really close those gaps. So it's different coming home and try to make this thing go. But one thing I've learned that the good people, Jermaine and Rue, they're always going to be here because we love the community. I don't ever want to change. I don't ever want to leave Boston. I left Boston because it was just folks valued what I could bring somewhere else. But I came back because it's just home. I know how we feel about things. So that's really it.
Dope. But before you got here, we were talking about shooters and you being a coach, and we kind of all went around the room talking about ours. So I would like you to give me your top 5 shooters, and you could say either guys you coached or guys you coached against as far as shooting, and then
Local.
what goes into a great shooter
Boston.
also.
Local, Boston. Shoot.
Yes, local. Yes. Yep.
Or New England, get a Boston.
I'm kind of like you, man. I like trying to like get people that people don't really normally pick, right? Harold Miller.
H. Millie.
Now here's the reason. A lot of people look at dudes like Harold Miller and be like, "Yo, those dudes aren't great shooters, but they're shot makers at the when it matters, right?" Like,
yeah.
And that's in the coach's world. That's all I cared about. Like, it's down one. I need somebody that's gonna knock something down. And you know, Harold, you know, for sure. Alvin may be up there in terms of like making. I've seen dudes just make shots.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, Harold was definitely.
There's
my backcourt mates.
One cat, and you know, I'm a little younger than a lot of folks that typically come on or whatever. I know. I was just talking about this the other day. A kid named Davon Edwards. He's not a Brighton coach. Davon.
Ooh, yep.
Right. And the reason I say Davon,
yep,
was because he went on to college and scored 1,000 points, hitting mostly threes.
Yep.
Yeah.
Which is hard, right? Like he did it, and he did it. Like you just did three. He just made threes, and you know, and then to go with that trend, Chris Flores.
Yeah.
Right.
Flores.
Right? Chris Flores. Like I don't think I've seen Chris Flores make a left-handed layup in my life. Right. I don't think I've seen him make a layup in my life. Right. Maybe a dunk here and there. But I know Chris Flores is gonna knock that. He's gonna knock that shit down, coming off the curl. And the thing is, like, I would see Chris. I look at nothing. I used to tell my players like bother his legs because I knew as soon as he caught and squared, it was a wrap. Just go the other way. Like, so I would definitely put Chris in there as well. So you got Davon, you got Chris, you got Harold. Another cat was Rayvon Dunbar from Charlestown.
Hey, my cousin.
That's your cousin.
Rayvon Dunbar. Shabazz was on the same team with Rayvon, and Rayvon was the best shooter on that team. Right?
Yeah.
Rayvon was the best shooter on the team that had freaking that had Shabazz in it. Like that says a whole lot. Like whatever the circumstances are why they didn't get, you know, that's whatever. But I know when it comes down to it, Rayvon was gonna knock it down. So that's another one. And I guess another cat that I respect because he taught himself in such a way to shoot. And it really doesn't because we're not rivals like that now. Hugh Coleman.
Yeah.
We're talking about Hugh. We talk about Hugh. Yeah.
Yep.
So the thing is with Hugh is if you don't bother his legs, it's like that. You have that you have to care. Like you have to make it. You can't let him get height on his shot. Yeah. Right. He gets high in his shot, just forget it. Right. So you kind of want to like be physical with him. You know. So yeah, those are definitely my 5. And I'm saying that because of like more towards shot making. Right. Like, I'm gonna, you know, from a coach's perspective, you know, all those guys are better basketball players than me, but somewhat. But we'll say that they will knock some shots down. Like I could say, you know, there's sometimes I could say, you know, I sort of honorable mention Rashid
Al-Khalim.
Like I honestly think that he is the most underrated. You know, there's 2 guys I talk about all the time that are underrated in the history of Boston that we just don't talk about, right? Rashid's one, right? Rashid's number 1, right? Corey may be up in there, right? Corey Boston, but Rashid and Usman, right? Usman's still playing, right? 10 years in, right? I'm not saying he played for me, but the dude's making hundreds of thousands of dollars overseas for 10 years. He grew up on Hancock Street.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like
Right.
he coached us all the way through. But Rashid is just the shot making and the grace as a shooter. So yeah, that's my.
Shoot, we got a couple of shooters in the comments. You know, Mike Lush is down here.
Yeah.
You know?
Yep.
Jamal Ray,
So
from UMass Boston.
can we get you to just piggyback off of Kyrie's point about what do we do to sustain what it is that you're doing over there at on Sundays with the 617 and things like that. So how does that sustain, right? Like after that's over, you know what I mean? Like what's in place to help carry that over in your opinion, so that it translates from that part to like the schooling aspect of it, so we can make more great shooters out here.
Right. So I appreciate that, because the goal is like you'll walk in there, you won't see a ton of older kids, which is only this session, we had a ton of older kids. All I really care about right now is everybody in the 6th grade and under. The goal by 2027 is to have, you and I talked about this, have so many kids playing, the cathedrals, the prep schools, everybody can get their players. They get players because you can't play everybody, right? Like you can't, somebody's going to be disgruntled, somebody's going to trickle down. The problem that we have in Boston, we don't have enough players playing, right? It's just, and like one of the greatest investments that we've ever made, and was to buy the little kids hoops. Right? Like we have these little kids hoops that we put on the 10-foot rim, and kids just go crazy, because when we teach young kids on these 10-foot rims, they get discouraged. These kids they be crying. I ain't never gonna be good at this game.
Yeah.
Once we bought those little hoops and put them on top of 10-foot, it was a wrap. The kids thought they was so. With that being said, like we have to, right now we're fighting for the investment, right? To continue the investment. The investment is critical. But like to pull people in and help people understand, like being like on this platform and talking to folks to understand like what it takes for that to happen is this all in approach, and then get people to buy into what the future plans are. Yes, the goal is 2027, but like we're the only city in the state of Massachusetts that's not in the Metro West League for basketball. Metro West League, they have 2,400 teams.
Wow.
Right.
That's not even talking about the North Shore team. Not all 8th grade and under. Newton, the town of Newton has 31 teams. So if you take a 5th grade team in Newton, there's 5 divisions.
Wow.
So imagine if we go 2nd grade all through 8th grade with multiple divisions, going out and playing against the Everetts, the Maldons, the Danvers, and all that other stuff. What will we look like? The problem is that, those parents out there, they're picking kids up, they're volunteering because they see the value. And that's the next big step that we're going to take. I'm talking to Reggie Lewis about it right now. Think about if we had our own, not just own town league, right, which is fine. But if we get up in that Metro West and we start like going out to that Belmont and going out to that Woburn, the kids the same way all of us here involved in basketball. Think about the white kids and the white parents that y'all talk to that will love bringing their kids to the city. Because they know I need to get up around this talent. I need to find out in and out, right? So imagine if we get out there and we get that and we see some of that discipline, that commitment to fundamentals. We are literally missing out on a large chunk of the development of our kids, because if we don't do things like that, our kids are going to get priced out the game. And it's hard right now, right? All the best basketball players, if you take Giannis, right? Let's look at the pros. If you take Giannis and LeBron out of the picture, right? How many players could you name grew up poor? Jason Tatum didn't grow up poor. Jaylen Brown didn't grow up poor.
Are we talking about just elite players only, or just
Elite players only.
Mm.
I know I like to know Luka Doncic has been in the system since he's been 12.
Yeah.
Steph Curry, you saw his dad was a pro. Look, Jason Tatum had both parents in his life.
It's a great point.
Right? Like think about keep going. Who's the next best player? Right? Our kids, it's so hard to be poor now and live below the poverty line, make less than $100,000 and be a great basketball player. Who else?
Yeah.
Take Giannis. Giannis grew up poor. LeBron grew up poor. Right? Shoot. DeJounte Murray? You think? Nope. I mean, I'm just Trae Young? Nope. Right? None of them dudes. They all had trainers.
Yeah.
Right?
Mm.
So think about the kid from Norfolk Street who ain't got nothing.
No shot.
To his name. How's he gonna compete?
Right.
Yeah.
This is why
They got a big head start on him.
Right? This is what we try. Like I'm trying to Paulo Banchero. His mom was like Ivy. Cade might be one of them, right? But like, there's more players in the NBA who grew up with some sort of privilege than they are the ones who grew up like us. So like, that's why the coaching side matters. But to get back to your point of like what we're trying to do, I just want to be public about like what has happened in the last 18 months. We've moved the athletic department faster and ahead further in 18 months than we have the past 30 years, right?
Mm-hmm.
There's new lights in Madison, new lights in O'Brien. Everybody has a seat with their name and their logo on it. We put 4 weight rooms, brand new weight rooms around, right? And we're going to build community weight rooms as well. We got new scoreboards. Everybody has a huddle account. There's a huddle camera in every BB in every school, right?
Wow.
Like, so if you're talking about like, you know, we now have, for the first time ever, more than 70% of our schools are NCAA eligible. So some of the brothers that we lost because our schools weren't good are now have reported their courses to the NCAA. So now it helps the academic eligibility. We now run NCAA workshops. You guys have seen me post it. I had 145 parents in there.
Yep.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
But 120 something of them were probably white. You know what I'm saying? So like it's the constant pounding of like, hey, I don't care about what nobody else wants. But I know if y'all came up to me and was like, yo, this is what our kids need, I'm a ride. I ain't gonna say no, because I'm gonna chase the money until we can make it happen.
Right.
Because all the barriers that people talked about before, oh, we can't get a gym. Really? Really? My academies are like, really? Oh, we don't have basketball. I have a limited amount of basketballs. Oh, we can't get coaches clinic. Really? Kareem, what? Yo, Kareem tell you how mad I was at the BPS coaches for not even showing up the way they're supposed to, but I got something for them. Because the bottom line is you pair the adult, you pair the kid with the talent, and you pair the opportunity, and then all of a sudden, you know, things change. But like what we've been able to do, you know, in terms of like making sure that things that kids get the total experience is critical. And then now, like what the future will hold is we're gonna have the ability to bring in some big name teams. And for me, I don't want to, you know, I don't want to bring in Archbishop Moeller from Ohio to come up here and punch everybody in the face until we're ready.
Right.
You know, they'll come though. You know, like they love because everybody wants to visit the Hall of Fame. We leverage that. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
And then also like being in talks with the Hall of Fame around getting a Boston team. Like if Hugh brought his team back this year, they could have played in the Hoop Hall Classic. How many BPS? When's the last BPS team? Name one BPS team that played in the Hoop Hall Classic.
I don't know.
I can't even.
Yeah.
We did. 2011. We did. Right?
Who's on that team?
That was the Uz Kachi, Darius.
Oh, Kachi.
Got you.
Yeah,
I mean, Koch.
that was, you know, yeah. So we played right before Pat Connaughton and then played against Anthony Davis. And Anthony Davis had no one on his team, and he was killing. He hurt his thumb, and then back on and ran it up on him. But that's the things that we're thinking about, right? Like, how can we, like, even last Friday, like, bringing the kids to HBCU Invitational in Connecticut?
Man, I couldn't go to that. Yeah,
No, I
that
mean,
was a
I
dope
could not
time.
believe.
Has
like,
to be
And
dope.
I
I
couldn't
could not
go to
believe it was just like it was for us. We was the biggest group there. But the thing is, when we match those opportunities, and I'm putting a lot of pressure on the local universities, right? You know, as well. Like, I got, you know, Joe. I'm putting like so much pressure, like calling them, like getting on them, like, yo, y'all gotta chill. Like, so like Northeastern, if anybody want to go to Northeastern game, let us know. And the thing is that we sleep on with Northeastern being in that league, is that they got 3 HBCUs in that league.
Hmm.
I had no idea.
UNCW
Mhm.
is in the CAA,
Okay.
right? Hampton,
Wow.
Wow.
right? And then probably the most slept on HBCU in America, North Carolina A&T.
Mm.
All
I had
3 of
no
them.
idea.
So that means all 3 of them come here 3 times a year. And if you're into women's basketball like I am, that's 6 games I could go to and see some HBCUs play.
Right.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? And they're playing Northeastern, and they probably, no disrespect, they're probably gonna win. You know, like because, but the bottom line is, yeah, that's our larger commitment. This is like the lower end of our plan. The larger plan is to really, really, really continue, like having elementary sports for the first time ever is something that we're working on.
That's super
Our
dope.
gyms are not where they're supposed to be. There's a lot of cafetoriums, so the colleges are going to host the elementary schools.
Hmm.
So
It's crazy. It's transformative.
yeah. So we did an elementary league at Emmanuel. We're going to start it back up in January. We had about 7 elementary teams. We had like all the, you know, we had Holmes, we had Hernandez, we had
Wow.
Roosevelt, we had the Tobin. Tobin's so good. But we were just like, the Emmanuel girls were their coaches. It was co-ed. They did the fundamentals with them, but we also did like restorative stuff with them. Have them down in circles. Who's your favorite player? Who's your hero? You know, tell us about a time where something wasn't working out for you. So then kids got comfortable, and when they're comfortable, they learn better. So that's the kind of approach that we're trying to take. But like, you know, it's in Boston, you know, we have such a "what have you done for me lately" culture. We have to realize, especially as Black men, that our impact is never felt. You have to be comfortable with the fact that your impact will probably be felt the greatest when you die. And it's just a trend for being us. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
it's just what it is. Like, not just even outside of basketball. Like, we had one volleyball camp this summer, and we had like over 120 kids for girls, right? We flipped that, bring them all on Sundays, and now we have a volleyball club with 300 girls, just like that, because we were just sort of like, all right, like, let's, you know, this our flag football league for girls, right? Flag football, great, wonderful. You know, I knew it wasn't going to be this crazy elite flag football league, but here's the thing: they're gonna play all the best girls are gonna go on one team. We're gonna go out and play. We're gonna play in 2 or 3 or 4 tournaments in March. Because the younger girls, I mean, there's some girls that could throw that football like a mug. So like, just sort of that overall development, and then like pushing out to families, like, hey, give us your kid, handle your business, and then that's it, man. So sorry to be long-winded, but I get really.
That's dope.
Definitely need all that information. We definitely need all that.
Yeah, I'm happy about where we are, but we just next, you know, buy some vans, right? Like we need some vans, and then we need like I was so close to getting Isaiah Thomas to come back to the first time I come back to Boston and run and have his own camp. Everybody would have loved, you know, but it's just too pricey. You're Isaiah Thomas, I get that, but $20,000 a day is wild.
Yeah.
What the hell?
Yeah.
Like, come on, brother. You're doing it.
God damn.
Right, but we could get, you know, Derek White and Drew Holiday, and that's the plan, you know. So, you know, stay tuned. We're trying though.
You know, definitely, man. You're doing amazing work.
Nah, you guys are doing great things.
Much needed.
To both of you.
Yeah, I mean, we're trying. Oh, one more thing. So we're now coming out with these lockers, what we call like lockers. So like folks could like, if you ever went to a BPS school or you have like a school that like, you know, if Kareem says like, hey, I want to get like the old edition sweatsuits with the hoodies and the hats. Like we got a locker that could just create that. And when adults buy them, 20% of that goes back to the teams. And for me, it's just really pushing out to adults so I can give kids who are struggling with clothing some free stuff. So like we got like brand new designs, change up all the logos for a bunch of the schools. It's just something that for us to really, really, start really flipping and making our investment work for ourselves.
No, definitely, man. That's amazing stuff what you're doing. Hopefully, all this stuff will make the BCs, the Northeasterns, start to recruit a little more local. But I feel like that's a
right.
Yeah, that's still a tough one, man.
That's a conversation for another day because we
age-old issue.
On that.
Yeah, I mean the thing is like the city councilors are trying to hold them to the fire. Northeastern's getting a little better. They hosted BPS Day the other day. Where they moved up a women's basketball game to 11 o'clock, brought in about 650 kids. But that's not where that's just one day. We want like that commitment. Like I told Northeastern straight up, like these schools gotta understand, like we gotta, like it gotta be free. It gotta be free initially, right? Like it just gotta be free until we prove otherwise, right? Like if you really committed to the community, that's the language that we can understand.
Yeah.
We count every single dollar we have.
For sure.
And if you're really committed to changing the community, if you want to have a true Black Wall Street, you got to teach people. Folks need money, not money to play with, but folks need a pot and a pool to pull from. And I'm cool with like folks who do grants and all that stuff. Like I get that, I understand that piece. But I think we need to have we have to hold people more accountable to doing what they say they're going to do. If you do that and you sort of like start talking to kids and find a way to have a soft handoff. Shout out to Maine. We're about to do this. Well, I'm not me, but he's about to do this cooking class with kids, right? And my whole thing is that, if I go, I'm gonna just be like, hey man, this is color. Let's start using the word culinary. Let's look at the schools that teach, Johnson and Wales. Let's get on that campus, and then make it those docs for the kids, and then like. What it's gonna do is that make it cool for kids. You know what I'm saying? Like we do a bad. Our generation is just so bad at like I tell people all that we're the worst OGs. The age between 35 and 50, we've become the worst OGs because we benefited from some really, really good like the brothers that got me off of Norfolk Street as a kid. I owe them so much, but we're just not great OGs. like collective, not all of like
right.
Because
I feel that
a lot of us went to jail in the 90s, right? In the early 90s, right? That whole like marijuana, lots of 158 folks killed in 91 type joint.
It was a mess.
So like that's a whole gap of like brothers who was supposed to, they're our age, young. They're supposed to come in, they're supposed to come out and do something with their lives, and then just be like, hey, like y'all gotta stop bullshitting out here. Yeah. And I can't find. It's hard to find like nobody wants to hear the OGs now because we created this gap between like it's almost like we're afraid to talk to kids, and it's tough, man. Like that's why I'm grateful whenever I can have these conversations with brothers because the kids. It's hard to know what they respect, but
True.
No, man. Listen. We gotta definitely bring you guys back. This was a lot of good information, a lot of good gems. Was spoke on tonight. Kay, anything you want to say before we get up out of here? I know you got the event coming up in February, so anything again you want shout out real quick?
Shout out.
Absolutely.
Cages. Did he shout us? Did he shout out all the way? He just said, "Yo."
I think he just shot his own lights out right there.
No way. Let's get K back up in here. We know that's not what he meant to do. He didn't mean.
Oh yeah, and he's back in HD.
What did I do?
He's back in HD.
There you go.
Am I
Oh,
here?
okay, we'll see.
There you go. There you go. You back. No, talk to us about your amazing event you got coming up in February and all that good stuff.
Absolutely. February 9th. Just remind people about February 9th. We'll be at Madison Park. Thanks to the Office of Student Support. February 9th game starts at 10. First game is at 10. Last game is a feature game that starts at about 6:30. That'll be Newton South and Holland Tech, formerly known as Burke. Very exciting event, February 9th. Come on down. We'll be recognizing Mike Rubin. We'll be recognizing Al Ski. And we'll be recognizing Thomas Johnson posthumously of the Johnson Center. We're welcoming his family down and looking forward to celebrating those individuals.
Is that, you said February 9th? That's Super Bowl Sunday?
That is Super Bowl Sunday. The Patriots ain't playing, so I'm hoping that those communities come out and see their teams.
Okay. All right. No, definitely. See, anything
start.
else you want to get on? Parting shots, man.
No, I appreciate it, man. I apologize for being late. I want y'all to I invite everybody to continue to support this pod, man. It's just so important. We don't talk enough. We don't spend a lot of time together the way we should. For me, man, my vacation is just like sitting around talking basketball. Like literally, that's what I want to die doing. Like literally, like I don't want a beach. I just want to go to games. Like I want to be I'm a lifer. So like, but as far as opportunities, there's a lot we have coming up. We're trying to get a lot of kids to the deadline in terms of like their college applications, supporting students who need jobs, but also like building and working through our the mental health of our young people. So like we're trying to develop a plan.
Yeah, that's big.
To make sure we talk to parents. I'm about to do like 50 home visits in the next 2 weeks because it's the time when kids start dropping off and stop coming to school. And I want to come back and actually talk about we have this attendance strategy that we're using to get more kids to come to school. So we definitely need brothers like y'all to push this agenda of more kids coming to school. Because we need them. Even if you come to school and do nothing, you got to at least come get a meal and be around somebody who cares about you. So
now, one question: when you go on these visits, is it just you alone?
No.
Or do you come with a group of?
Yeah. So our college visits. So we work a lot with Frank Farrell in the Office of Black Male Advancement, and then we have a team in student support as well. So. But we have a section based on subgroups. So like our HBCU tour this year is going to be, 56 girls, 56 boys. Although they don't stay together, they tour together. So we take about 8 chaperones one of those trips. But like the college tours, sometimes it just be like these kids are like, I ain't scared no kids, so like they don't give me no problem, right? So we won't. I don't care about none of that, man. We went to prom and all that. It was me and Fred. And we was just like, all right, man, all 50 of y'all roll with us. And they're cool because, people go to college for different reasons. And I tell people all the time. I went because there's 3 meals a day and my mother couldn't tell me to come and shut my light off at night. It was messy as I want. So, yeah. So, if anybody's interested in rolling, man, I think it's just dope to like get away too, and like the thing people ask me all the time, and I'll finish with this. People ask me all the time what I miss about coaching. I think Jermaine asked me that. It literally is the car rides with the kids.
Right. Yeah.
You just learn so much. Like you learn so much about a neighborhood, your community that you may miss.
Yeah.
Appreciate y'all.
No, appreciate y'all, man. We definitely got to have you guys back. Definitely got to have y'all back next season, man. We're wrapping up our season finale. Is next week, and we're bringing on the Mike Gods, so that should be a pretty interesting.
Show. Should be dope.
And we'll definitely be at February with a table set up again for the tournament. Definitely get a few interviews.
I'll be there all day.
You know what I mean? So
one shooter I missed, Scooney Penn.
Scooney Penn, the one dude that really understood the difference between a runner and a floater. I tell kids all the time, what's the difference? A runner's off of one leg, a floater's off of 2. First dudes, that was just running around doing that, because of the size,
For sure.
Okay, man. All right, Sam, you got any parting shots, man? You want to say before we get up out of here?
Well, I just want to thank both of these fellas first and foremost. Shout out to OTL. We'll be back in the first Sunday in January. Shout them out. Other than that, I'm good. I'm good, man, my brother. I mean, who you want to shout out this weekend?
That's gonna be a busy week for me, man. You know what I mean? So shout out to the good brother Corey right here. We'll be starting that cooking class. The first installment will be at the Nubian Square Library, and it will be the 4th, 5th. I know it's the Friday, so I believe
it's the Friday. And I got like
the 4th.
This dude's only taking 10. I got like 58 kids signed up. But I'm not saying
that's what's up. That's great. That's what's up.
58. I'm just saying.
Oh,
I got to do some vetting.
We definitely got to do a little bit of vetting on it.
I got to start asking questions. Do you know what onions are?
Nah, but I'm looking forward to
it. They want to learn.
Man, it's gonna be a dope thing. So I'm gonna take this time off over this next week or so, not having to coach on Sundays to really prepare myself for that, because it's exciting. You know what I mean? So it's gonna be a dope thing. But other than that, man, it's been another episode, Grove Hall Podcast. Coach Main here.
And Sam Little.
You already know, man. And we'll see you back next Sunday with the season finale. Thank you to these good brothers for pulling up here.
Definitely.
This is Sunday, man. It's been a good. We got to bring them back. Definitely got to bring them back next season.
For sure. Peace out.
All right.
I'm glad to be here.